Okay, welcome, ladies and gents. We've got Arabia action. Don't know what order things will go up on YouTube later if this hits YouTube, but we did just see Casva play an incredible game as the Teutons. He was up against the humans on Golden Swamp. We have no swamps here. Instead, we have Arabia, where we've got Mongols versus the Mayans. Good old non-tourney Arabia cast, a map that both these players are pretty fond of and pretty good on. So Mayans, very good on Arabia, always have been. Typically, and especially these days, you see a lot of archers from them. The Mongols are all about timings, because the Mongols have the scouting bonus. So at least in tourneys, you'll see that utilized to steal some resources. They also have the hunt bonus. And both those things combined leads to the potential doing damage early. And so if I were to maybe have like some type of a graph, let me maybe look at their APM. Can I use this? Okay, this is a good representation. Casva's APM is good representation of the Mongols. Okay, here's the start of the game. This is where Mongols can be really strong. Then they kind of dip down a little bit. Then they're really strong again. And then they dip down a little bit more. Bad example. Basically, Mongols are really good in early feudal. That can lead to an advantage in early castle. Maybe cav archers, maybe steppe lancers are options, but then they have a very awkward point in time until they are strong again eventually if we see lots of Mangudai, which is very hard to get to because you need lots of castles and lots of economy. So, the Mayans, it's just kind of like, yeah, my archers are cheap, my walls are cheap, and my economy's good and stable. Yes. And so, we're just going to stick to that one thing the whole game. We can sometimes see eagles as well in anti-archer situations. But I hope that breakdown actually made sense for people. It's possible it didn't. I played a tourney earlier. We've been casting 3 hours ever since. You know, I'm getting tired. All right. Anyways, the King of the Desert meta was to skip the mill in these situations because you have so much food on King of the Desert Arabia with the elephants and then with the ostrich and whatnot. So present day meta for archers is they actually don't even take the berries. They'll just make a mining camp here at some point. Or a barracks as their second building. For MBL, he hasn't actually made even a mill yet. So he's not going to be able to click up quite as fast as he might want unless he does that, which he's going to do now. MBL's played a Casva a bunch of times. Especially back in the day where you just have lobbies. And you didn't have to wait in queue for 5 minutes to get the next opponent. And yeah, you can see MBL's timing, not what he would have wanted. He wanted to actually be up faster, but his building was late, so he adds one more fill. Yeah, anyways, Casva has always struggled a little bit against MBL, but I remember casting their games a lot over the years, and they've just produced some amazing games. Because they're both... Casva's like a lesser MBL. He does a lot of messy, off-meta strats, and he likes to flood the map with army. He's not a player who really thrives on a slightly faster castle time with crossbowmen or anything along those lines. Which could be a problem, actually, because he is Mayans. And, you know, again, Mayans. Going to be going into archers, most likely. Yo, Sleep Not, what's up? This is coming from YouTube. Just discovered T90. Brought back childhood memories. Starting AoE2 again. Nice. Welcome. I try and tell people your username, and it just never seems to work. I say, welcome to the channel, Sleep Not. And then 10 minutes later, people are asleep anyways. Ha! Get it? Yeah, that was a bad joke. You guys are probably leaving already, but it's all good. So barracks is up for Casva. Could lead to him spending some of that food on militia. His eagle's here. He just saw MBL's barracks, and you can tell MBL's thinking, I'm going to be in feudal in a second, and I want to kill that thing. Now, look what Casva did. I think he knows, right? You just know your opponent's going to be looking for you. And MBL, I think, rightly assumed that Casva would have gone this way. And now Casva's going to just loop around this way. Now, I don't know if he thought about it. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But it seemed to me like he was intentionally faking as if he was going that direction. That was pretty nice. MBL's going to go for scouts with 500 food in the bank. Makes sense. And Casva's going to try and make this extremely difficult for MBL to break. So, walls around the wood. Walls are already up around the gold. So, if you don't have control of these berries, though, you are going to be at a point, guys, where you want to farm. Because you're going to run out of your goats eventually. And then you're like, crap, I can't get out there to my berries. Do I need to mill here? Which is never good. So he's going to need spearmen. He's going to have spearmen. It'll be fine. Why doesn't T90 do stand-up? He's the funniest man in the world. Stop it with your sarcasm. All right. All right. Spearman is able to scare MBL away. But again, you know, just to remind you with the Mayans, 10%, your resources last 10% longer, which is a bonus that works all the time. You start with an extra villager. I probably should have mentioned that before, but most of you watching already know that. So currently, we have Kasva surviving. MBL's going to drop an archer range, thinking of mixing in some skirms. And it's always a really frustrating situation. You know, when you're Mongols and you make all this army and then suddenly your opponent's not in a position to take any damage. Like, look at MBL. He's even just passing by the TC. Good play from Kasva, though, right? He's going to have archers. He's going to need farms soon. So half the reason for coming out here is so he could get the farms down around his TC. But now your next problem is, and this is maybe why Kasva's making a mix of equals, which is really smart. Your next problem is MBL is going to be making skirms, and skirms are really good against archers and spearmen. So it was really wise from Kasva to mix in the eagles, like I said. And he feels like this is the best time for him to move out and attack. 2 spearmen still protecting the berries. And here he goes. Okay. So MBL, looking around for that army. It's pretty quiet right now. He's making so much army. He's got 6 scouts. He's got 5 skirms with the 6th on the way. Oh, man, Kasva, this could be a tricky situation for you, pal. And I think Kasva saw the range and said, nope, I'm out of here. That's exactly what has happened here. Oh, big fight. Hello? Both players kind of looked away there. That could have been horrible for MBL. He somehow got a couple hits in. Anyways, more eagles in queue for Kasva. He has to wall up in some extra areas. And MBL going to move out with his skirms, and there he goes. Fletching on the way for those skirmishers. MBL spending a lot of food right now in his army, but it makes sense. I love how active the military buildings have been from both players here. There's a lot of army on the field. And walling, yes, but never an attempt to full wall from Kasva because that would have been completely punished. I do wonder, though, how the micro is going to look here because it feels like Scout Skirm is easier to micro in most cases. But sometimes a big, like, blob of units can be kind of awkward to micro against. I don't know. But Kasva's got 3 different unit types he has to pull around. And he didn't want to lose his spearmen. So he pulled the spearmen away. And then he didn't want to lose his archers. Tried to pull them away. And yikes. Ay. The spears are going to go down. The scouts are going to kill all the eagles. And MBL might force Kasva to tap out there. That is precisely what happens to me, by the way. I don't know if maybe getting the armor on the eagles would have helped a little bit. But MBL is the better player. MBL's got really good unit control. And Scout Skirm certainly paying off. It hasn't finished the game, though. MBL only killed 1 villager. And MBL can't really do any significant villager damage with what's remaining. It's just a scout, and it's just some skirms. But yeah, obviously, you don't want to lose your archers. But, okay, you lose your archers, though. You want to switch into something that counts as the skirms, and you're going to go eagles. MBL even going for a second range. And MBL's going to mix in archers now, so we can try and do a bit more damage to villagers. Okay. Bum. Trying to see... People were talking about some stuff in chat. Trying to see exactly what people were talking about. Apparently, Nick has encountered someone in chat that he played a 1v1 against the other day. That's pretty cool. So, guys, the real issue with Eagles is they take 60 seconds to produce in Feudal. It's just so long compared to other units. And it's good that they do, because then Eagles would be, you just see them a whole lot more. And Skirmishers would be a bigger risk up against Mezzo. But like Aztecs are a little bit different, because Aztec military does produce a bit faster. So Aztecs feel stronger with Eagles and Feudal. But it's never easy. Good job here from Casva, though. Actually saves the archers in the TC. And again, he's not really taking damage. MBL maybe a little worried that there'd be a counterattack from Casva, so he was sitting at home. If he had the archers, it would have been a different story, but now MBL's going to lose all his skirms. No, you're good, Nick. You're good. There's not a whole lot else to talk about other than skirmisher and scout death. So MBL's on the way to the next stage. He forced a tower on the gold. And look where he's going. He knows there's a vulnerability here, right? Certainly knows it's not going to make a lot of sense to go here. He might also think his opponent hasn't clicked up to Castle Age yet because he sees the market. And MBL didn't have to use the market at all. It was just aggression. Bit of a hole here for MBL, which I don't think will be an issue. I'm sure he'll notice it if it, is going to be a factor. And MBL just trying to stay far away from the walls. Trying to sneak over towards the wood line. Not getting too close. Casva noticed that at all? I don't think he did. There's no risk of an overchop here. And in some cases, you don't want to attack because you don't want your opponent to know and then pull their villagers here. But I think you're still a minute away from Castle Age. A lot could happen, and I think attacking there is actually fine. Whoa. Skirmisher just died in the north of the map. That was a bit weird. Alright, archer mass for both. MBL doesn't have all of his archers together. Casva's still a little uncertain on what he wants to commit towards, at least I think from his army composition right now. He's switching back into archers, away from the Eagles. Good find, obviously. MBL might regret taking any fights before he gets his upgrades. Doesn't even have bodkin arrow or crossbow in queue, which is kind of weird. And, MBL, as I said, he's similar to Casva, where they don't really have... They're not strong timing players. It's more about surviving the timing. That's what's happened here for Casva. And MBL's going to be kicking himself. Like, now he's only got 8 archers. Now his upgrades are coming in. And Casva's got cheaper archers. Casva also only lost 1 villager. In terms of resources collected, it's very close. And at times it might have felt a little bit inevitable. But this gets interesting now as we have Casva moving this way with his army. And MBL is just going to be like, I need eco, right? Like this is the point of the game where Mongols start to drop off. They do have some fun things you could talk about, and this is really good for MBL because it's going to buy himself time with the boom. But you're not hunting anymore. Your units aren't discounted. But this fight for MBL is so valuable because that gives him... It's a bit risky to commit so much to the economy, but now Casva, who's not committing to the economy, has to deal with this. And it was intentional from MBL to drop the TC somewhere where he can take stone, and then also protect wood, and also take additional gold. Now we'll see how the micro goes here, because Casva's going to have ballistics, which should mean he should mop up the fights pretty easily. Pretty crazy how MBL just kind of leaves his gold unprotected here. MBL made one thing that was Palisade, and that was simply that gate. Certainly some confidence here for him. And now he should know ballistics is in. So if Casva micros this properly, he's not going to lose any more units. I think you're okay with losing 1 or 2, though, so you could just, look at a couple other things as you fight this. And MBL's just buying time. He's like, okay, I know I need eco, so we're just going to dance here. Get as much value as I can, and he's going to lose his crossbows. So I would add siege in this position if I'm MBL. He's going to add a 4th town center. I mean, I think siege makes so much sense. It's interesting as gold's still exposed here. Also, did make step lancers, and they're just standing in the middle, looking useless. But excited about it. Oh, there they go. Casva, my friends. The clock is ticking. You've got to move forward. Now, he doesn't know what we know about MBL's economy. Who drops TC number 2. But he's got to head over there. If you were to find MBL's crossbows, he would kill them. Doesn't know about them. Is dropping outposts here, though, so will know about them. Might actually end up turning around with this entire army. And MBL will add siege as well. You turn around here. You've got ballistics. Your wood line's exposed. Oh, God, you're dropping a TC. What a horrible... What a... He's going to just run this way. That's frustrating. But if you run home with your crossbowmen, then that just still advantage MBL's economy. At least here, you're pushing forward. Clearly, he's a little distracted. He did hit the house. Give MBL a heads up. MBL just seems like he's in such good control here, but he still has some work to do to get to late game. He's still up against ballistics. He does have a big mango shot. Kasva, nice micro. Killed a couple of villagers here. And Kasva's good enough to out-micro against siege. Like, MBL also not finding any damage done, any damage here. But there is some idle time for Kasva. I love the confidence from Kasva. Mango's not close enough. He's played this game long enough to realize. Also, I think could clear this in a moment, but it's really easy to take a bad fight on either side if you're Kasva. Also, his food count is a problem. He's going to struggle to produce villagers out of his TCs. MBL kind of needs to protect his golds. Senses trouble could come from here. So he's going to head to another wood line and forgot 2 villagers. Actually, forgot quite a few villagers. And Kasva, 5-1 on the Eco KD, is struggling with the defense slightly, but he's doing an okay job. Guys, look at this castle from MBL. I would never make that castle in a million years. But MBL has such good understanding of the game as he knows there's not going to be an army there because the army has to deal with him here and the other army's here. But we have a mass evacuation. Oh no. Kasva sees him. Okay, you need to like make houses. Yeah. Just block it off quick. And again, it's like, do you even want to chase this right now if you're Kasva? You kind of do, because it looks like free villager kills, but you're not hitting MBL elsewhere. All of MBL's crossbowmen go down here. And split from Kasva. But a dangerous game, because now MBL is going to be making Mangadai, and he's mainly going to be focused on this Mango. Odd is already in for MBL. Mangadai being masked. Will want to get bloodlines from his stable. That'll add more HP for his Mangadai. He's still on stone. This game has been amazing. It reminds me of like the Arabia games of old almost at this stage of the game, where the Mongol player had to be greedy to get the economy to go for their best unit. And Kasva, he's 22 villagers behind. And MBL is even going to tower this. Like the wood line's just really going to be awkward for him, but this area is so important with all the golden wood. So I think Kasva is going to try a big push on this town center over here. He doesn't know there's a castle yet. But if he could get the snowball going here, I mean, MBL could lose all this area. We'll have siege. We'll have crossbowmen with ballistics. So many crossbowmen. MBL doesn't really see it right now. Let's see. He senses this could be an issue. MBL is the best with attack rounds out of anyone in the game. Incredible stuff from him. He didn't know about it. To be fair to him, he didn't know about it. And here comes the pressure. Is this an area worth saving? He's going to be adding more siege now. MBL just has houses in the north, by the way. I mean, typically what you see is you see siege defense into a castle here. That way you never lose this TC. You do have a lot of town centers if you're MBL. You could probably find stone elsewhere. I guess a lot of this depends on how the engagements go. Look at Kasva bringing forward a villager to repair the mango. But you never want your mangonels stacked like this together because an attack round in the middle can one-shot both of them. And he sees MBL's mango. Wow, great micro from both. But MBL gets the kill he wants. MBL still microing. Attack rounds. Oh, man, he's finding some great positions. Trying to buy himself time for a castle. Another shot. This is why it's so tricky against MBL, right? You get the army lead, and then he can just hold with a couple units. Another shot! How does he do it? Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah, now MBL can just drop the castle there if he feels like he even needs to. Kasva still does not know that MBL is massing Mangudai. And Mangudai don't get really strong until upgrades fly in. Like Elite Mangudai as well. Yeah, the instant repairs on fire ships and mangonels has been fixed. They fixed it last week. These Mangudai are going to be extremely annoying because right now Kasva's thinking MBL has no army. And that there might be a castle here, and then he can try and treb down those castles. But what he doesn't know is there's going to be Mangudai in his eco soon, and that's going to be real pain to chase down. MBL hasn't clicked yet. Kasva's about to, and he just has behind a villager probably. And that attack notification is actually kind of helpful for Kasva, because now he knows he needs more army at home. He doesn't know MBL has a castle there. MBL doesn't know that Kasva has a castle, so they both have castles they're unaware of. I guess it would be two. Kasva hasn't seen this castle either, but he knows it's there because the Mangudai were created from somewhere. And now comes the annoying situation where your crossbowmen are on foot and then the Mangudai are on a horse. It sucks. Because he's thinking, well, I have to get this gold. I like the risk he's taking now because gold is becoming really important for him. Oh, MBL's mangoes move forward. And he loses one. MBL's just scouting the south of the map. Also going to get relics, which is good for gold income. Guys, I think MBL, due to the fact that he saw so many crossbowmen, and the fact it's MBL, I think he's going to go drill Onager. Look, he's added 2 more siege workshops. He's not making any more Mangudai. I think he opens Onager here. This could be really epic. Here are those crossbowmen. Kasva could find some nice kills. Kasva still doesn't know about that castle there. MBL. He could run through here, it looks like. Oh, he's just going to try and escape now. But he's misclicked pretty badly here. Let's see. Kasva, you want to wait till you're in close before you fire. Yeah, that's good. That way MBL finds out and it's a little too late for him to escape with everything. Look at MBL's resources, man. First thing he clicks, Onager. Is he going to go drill as well? Everyone knows about the Mongol fast siege, but typically you're thinking Mangudai and Hussar. Oh, man. MBL with an eco lead. Will drop a castle here. He wants to treb this castle down. He's got trebs from both of his castles. It's kind of nice as well, right? Because your castles can then produce trebs. If you're committing towards your unique unit, you don't have as much of your unique unit if you have to make trebs. And the situation absolutely calls for trebs. Drill hasn't come in yet. And Kasva, I think, is about to be... He is about to be embarrassed here. MBL must be saving for Siege Onager. Because, I mean, he still hasn't clicked Drill. Kasva's had such a good game, too. Oh, man. He's gonna click Siege Onager in a 1v1 Arabia game. He's not... He could go for a shot here, but he wants to save for Siege Onager. Is that it? He hasn't clicked it yet. He doesn't want Kasva to know. It feels like he's hiding it. Because look, Kasva hasn't seen anything yet. MBL's just having fun, man. He's like, I know I'm going to win this game. I want to have as much fun as possible. He could have absolutely tried to hit those units. But it's not as fun if you don't have all the upgrades. It's kind of like you and me when we played the game and we were noobs. I don't consider myself a noob anymore, but maybe I am. Drill's going to be in 10 seconds. Kasva's still looking to push. Kasva's got a much higher population than MBL. But Kasva will lose his castle. And watch the Onagers go. Zoom. There they go. They kind of got stuck together. And MBL just shot a tree. Well done, MBL. He's going to chase down these Trebs. He's going to take the Trebs and says, thank you very much. This is so epic. What a fun time. Now, we still got Arbs looping around, and Kazva's going to try and make a switch into Eagles. So MBL has to be careful just relying on Siege. But Kazva's going to have to be careful as well, because the Onager's pretty quick here. I guess they are slightly slower than the Arbs. All right, here we go. Kazva's point of view. He's trying to run away. Micro. Oh, God, you dodged that one. Now it's the Siege Onager. Good luck. Oh! Oh, God. Meanwhile, we have... Oh, a Camel's died to the Siege Onager. Move out of the way, Camels. Their humps got in the way. Well, yeah, MBL just cleared up a lot of army. Now... Eagles can clear up all the Siege, and Siege is very expensive. But if MBL sees this, he could also... MBL. He could switch into Mangudai again. He's going to try with attack rounds to take care of these Eagles. Doing a pretty good job so far. And he's going to back up to his castle here. And did lose an Onager or two. Over here, MBL had some relics. Or a relic. Kazva trying to micro down a Siege Onager. Bro, you're crazy, but you're a god. Very well played. That's worth it. Thing is, Kazva has been around the block quite a few times, right? He knows what MBL's doing. He knows MBL's having a little bit of fun. And having been on the other side of players, you know, having a little bit of fun, going a little bit too crazy. Nothing wrong with it. Ranked game, still high-level stuff. He's not trolling you. It's a legit strat. Just risky, right? When this happens, you want to punish that risk. You're not happy about it. But there's one thing I disagree with, and that is engaging before El Dorado. Thankfully, it's coming in now for Kazva. Excuse me. But MBL is basically making himself unraidable. You see what I mean? He's making castles in compact areas. So he can mass siege. But, you know, he doesn't have that many Mangudai right now. Seems like MBL sees these villagers moving over here, so he's going to go deal with that. El Dorado will come in, and Kazva's just seen castles everywhere. So castle. He can't raid there. He was going to try and loop into the other areas. Oh, man. Oh, it's... Who needs Mangudai? The villagers just go right back to the stone. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Now you got Eagles trying to raid here. Ooh, there's Trebs there as well. And MBL has to micro Siege Onagers against Eagles. Not so easy. Siege Onager's still there from before. It will get a decent shot. And then meanwhile over here, MBL's focused. So Kazva's able to notice that. But the Siege Onagers actually just back away. And he doesn't lose... Oh, he loses one of them. Who is losing villagers here, though. So, you know, for a while, it's kind of felt inevitable that MBL could win this game. But he does not have the Mangudai number yet, and he's still catching up on upgrades. Numbering coming in now. Elite Mangudai hasn't come in yet. He's got Eagles raiding his eco. Look at that eco KD for Kazva. Kazva has killed so much economy from MBL. But it doesn't really feel like it, I guess, right? Kazva's building up the Trebs. His entire composition is based around gold units. So this isn't going to last forever. He needs one big ball of Eagles. The strongest Eagles in the game. And then he needs the Trebs to be able to take out the castles. I don't think you can lose 4 or 5 Trebs more than once, though. And also balls of Eagles. And maybe MBL knows that. But Kazva certainly does, right? This castle is the castle that the Trebs will be beneath. This is really important. Because then the Siege Onagers can't encroach. And snipe your Trebs. And MBL's just going to drop his castle. As he's currently trebbing down this one. Kazva's going to take more stone. Both players have no stone at the moment. Being mined. Siege Ram even for MBL. Did he get Elite Mangudai yet? Okay, he did get Elite Mangudai. He actually has full upgrades now. Alright, so MBL is just going to bring his Trebs back over, I suppose. And both players are kind of going to do the same thing. Siege rams can get sniped by the eagles. Mangudai are good against siege, but this castle is protecting Kasva from the Mangudai. This castle's crucial. Worth it to repair here, I think. MBL will kill those villagers. This has been awesome. It's 160 pop for both. MBL wants to cut through the trees? He's playing Black Forest over here, cutting through trees with siege onagers. This castle was questionable to me. He's going to lose this one. And meanwhile, Kasva's running underneath the castle, still looking to keep MBL off of that gold. Choo choo! There go the Rams, though. They're speedy. Super speedy. So that castle will go down. Again, I understood that castle, though. I understand why he placed it. Because now this becomes a big problem. What is there to stop MBL from like approaching this stuff or encroaching upon this stuff with your siege onagers? You have to sacrifice the villagers and the eagles in order to somehow stop this. And the onagers are looking to have some fun here. Pretty decent shots for MBL. Castle will go down, though. Mangudai is still a really good unit. You're doing 12 damage a hit. So, you know, against the eagles, you're still just destroying them. And as Kasva rolls away, which is really important, and also kills the siege onager, which is really important, MBL now has 30 Mangudai. So what's the pierce armor on a eagle is 8. The Mangudai does 12 damage, and they fire really quickly. So the eagle's taking 4 damage a hit. Yeah, these things are going to get destroyed here. And you can't really go skirms or arbalest again because there's siege onagers out. This is just Mongol late game. You just never see Mongol late game on Arabia because of the cost associated with these things. Dang. Honestly, though, guys, I do feel as though MBL opening Onager was the appropriate thing. I do not think that it was trolling. It was the best decision for the time. Delaying Mangudai. If you try the Mangudai and then try and do the siege later, you could have, you know, lost control already. So the siege has been able to protect things. Kasva hoping for one big fight. Kasva also sending random units into the back of MBL's base to try and raid with what he can. We do have Hulch. I think I'm saying that properly. Hulch. Yeah, it's Hulch, I believe. Makes the skirms very strong for the Mayans, which is cool. But God, how do you engage against this? I just don't think you do. You have to avoid it somehow, and you have to raid MBL to death, which Kasva, I feel, has tried a decent amount here. He's killed 120 villagers. Sheesh. Trebs are just going to roll on in. And I think you have to say goodbye to your buildings pretty soon here. Oh, whoa, what? Did Kasva roll the whole way through the back of his base with these Trebs? What a sneaky guy. He is going to try and take out this castle. Hey, guys, remember when they were trebuchets? I remember. I mean, it was worth it, right? I think we all know the direction that this has been going for a while. Obviously, it wasn't worth it in terms of, you know, the losses versus the result he got. It was worth trying it, I think. But, yeah, man, it's just... It's a stronger army, and it also arrives to the destination faster. This is just unfair. And poor Kaz was putting himself through more pain and heartache because he won't call the GG because he's such a fighter. And we love him for it because it's so fun to watch this. I honestly can't remember the last time I've seen all the technologies that we've seen researched in this game in a 1v1 with Mongols. Can someone else tell me? I mean, I don't cast every single game, right? So it's possible. I'm sure it has happened in games at a high level I'm talking about. Like top 100 players. I'm sure it has happened. And I just didn't happen to cover it. But this is like legitimate uses for the units. The opening of Onager was so smart. It gave MBL the security and the time to get his castles up, keep his castles up. Did lose a bunch of villagers building that castle, though, I should say. And he also is behind in population. But Kasva cannot kill this deathball. It's like if you had a panic button in this game, if you could press a button and kill all of your opponent's army on the map one time, if Casva could do that right now, he might win this game. Because they're both out of gold. This is an incredibly expensive army. Or maybe if MBL accidentally kills his own units. But you just don't get anywhere near this. You don't even scratch it. It's not even fair. Like, this army has over 100 kills here. And I'm surprised it's not more. Still, over here, MBL could have some small problems. Does look like the skirms will be dealt with by the Mangadai. And maybe MBL can complete his castle. A couple Mangadai over here to kill the Halbs. Casva trying to raid the woodlines, but then there's the castle, which has 16 kills. And it's a Flemish Revolution. Yeah, I guess if he was Burgundians, he could try that. He's got 60 Halbs. He's got 27 skirms. He's trying, but oh no! Oh no! Oh, oh, he split. But it's a banana split now. It's all mushed up, melted to those siege onagers. Oh, hi Halbs. Bye Halbs. Wow, dude. He was at 200 pop. He's now at 125. Also, castle's gone up. What is happening here? Those villagers are not happy. Mangadai here are going to go for the Trebs. Over here, MBL continues to destroy, and the GG's called. What a fun game. I know Arabia is not everyone's cup of tea, but that was a really unique one. That was a fun one. A memorable Arabia game. With two civs that fit the Arabia meta, right? The potential to be aggressive from the Mongols. The potential to stay in the game and make a lot of crossbows with the Mayans. MBL decided to switch it up a little bit later. I wonder if he tries to... I wonder if he plays Castle Age as he did against, like, Viper, right? I can tell you he won't. I watched him play King of the Desert against Viper. But, like, not even Viper. Like, Nikov or something. Probably not. But also, I think the greed in which he played Castle Age, just dropping the town centers and trying to hold and play defensive, it suits him and it suits the Mongols, and eventually brought him the success he had later on. He also had some really good Mangonel moments around this TC. It doesn't look like it did before, so it might not seem... it might not jog your memory, but yeah, definitely had some good defensive moments here. And I think Casva had a really good game, all things considered. I thought Casva was going to lose the game in Feudal. So many people would have just resigned after losing your initial army in Feudal. Like, where's military population? Like, it just got really bad. Wait, what? I guess, okay, this is not... I thought it was going to show this big drop-off. I guess that was the big drop-off. Capture Age really ruining the outro here. But yeah, anyways, I thought he was going to resign in Feudal. He didn't. Glad we could see MBL show us some strengths of the Mongols later on. Very enjoyable match. 90k resources collected for MBL. It did have 4 relics in the end, so would have had the edge in the long-term gold income. And 435 units killed, and then 303 units lost. I wanted to see, final army though, Mangadai here of 125 kills, an average of 5 kills per unit. Siege Onagers had 75 kills. And obviously he had more Siege Onagers in the group, which ended up going down at one point. Even the Trebs, I don't think we have a stat for kills here, but these Trebuchets took out a lot of buildings as well, so... He definitely got use of his units, and like I said, open siege, defended from what he needed to, and then he had all the time in the world for the unique unit. Was I not recording that? Wait a second, what? That has to be in 4K on YouTube. Hold on. Give me a second to get really annoyed with myself. Ah, I wasn't recording it. Ah.